Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain the mutation. This film tells the story of a husband and wife's crazy experiment that produces a human-eating mutant rat. Can they kill the mutant rat? Let's find out in the mutation. The mutation begins by showing a scientist named Peter who is in his private lab. Peter is seen testing something, while behind him is a large, hairy creature confined in a cage. The creature is actually a mouse that has mutated after being made the object of research by him. That evening, Peter had returned home and was seen chatting with his wife, Linda. Linda is a doctor at a local hospital. The two of them had a serious conversation and their facial expressions looked tense. But then, Linda got an emergency phone call from the hospital and rushed there. After Linda left, Peter returned to the lab to continue his almost completed research. But when he got there, he was surprised to find out that the cage where he kept the mutant rat was empty and the creature was nowhere to be found. He then took his gun just in case. The mutant mouse then came out of hiding and is now face to face with him. Peter, who still thought that the creature was just a small experimental mouse, tried to calm it down. But of course, his efforts were useless because the rat had mutated into a ferocious and vicious creature that immediately attacked and slaughtered him to death. The next day, the scene shows a biologist named Alan who is facing domestic chaos that ends with his wife's departure to her parents' house. Alan, who could not do anything to prevent his wife from leaving the house, could only surrender. After that, he and his partner, Julie, went to Peter's house, which was now lined with police lines. Alan and Julie were appointed directly by the police as expert witnesses to investigate the case of Peter's death, which seemed odd. The police then invited Alan to examine Peter's body, whose condition was very pathetic. The police assumed that Peter died after being attacked by wild animals. But Alan doubts this because there has never been a case of a wild animal attack in this area, especially an attack inside a house. However, he also does not know for sure the cause of Alan's death and who the perpetrators are. Even the police did not get any meaningful information from Peter's wife because she was in the hospital on the night of the incident. Seeing Linda's attitude that seemed to be hiding something, Alan was a little suspicious of her. In the evening, a female entertainer was seen walking down a fairly dark alley alone. At first the woman seemed normal, because she had been through the alley many times. But suddenly she heard a strange voice behind her, and when she turned around, she was shocked when she saw the appearance of a large hairy creature. She then tried to run away, but the creature moves quickly and can immediately ambush its prey. Without further ado, the beast immediately slaughtered the woman, as it had done to Peter. At the same time, Alan got a call from Linda to come over to her house immediately because there was something important she wanted to talk about. After he arrives, Linda takes him to Peter's private lab, which is not far from home, and shows him a study her husband was working on before he died. Alan was amazed to find so much uranium in Peter's research. He still does not understand why Peter used a highly radioactive substance that is very dangerous in his research this time. Linda said that she didn't know for sure what research her husband was doing, because Peter forbade her to come to his private lab. To her knowledge, Peter is conducting research to formulate certain drugs that are said to cure chronic diseases. She then revealed that Peter often uses small animals such as mice as the object of his research. The next day, Alan received news from the police that there had been a murder case last night similar to what happened to Peter. Seeing the photo of the body of the second victim who died strengthens his suspicion that the experiments being carried out by Peter are indirectly related to the cases of attacks and massacres that have occurred recently. He then told the police about Peter and his research. Alan assumes that the rat that was used as the object of Peter's experiment has mutated into a large, vicious creature due to exposure to such high radioactivity. However, the police think Alan is just making it up. The theory of rats mutating into large, vicious creatures sounds far-fetched, and the police think it's only possible in science fiction films. But Alan still insists on proving his theory. Finally, Alan and Julie went back to Linda's house to investigate something. He asked Julie to wait in the car while he went into Linda's house alone. He found Linda's house empty because she called and told him she was at the police station. But when Alan entered the house, he heard a voice upstairs. He then took his gun just in case and headed straight for the top floor. Arriving upstairs, he is suddenly attacked by a large furry creature who also attacks Peter. He tried his best to avoid the beast's attack and rushed to save himself with the help of Julie. Julie takes Alan to her house to treat the wounds on his body. Not long after, several police officers came to Alan's house and he immediately told what had happened at Linda's house. Alan spoke of the appearance of a large, furry creature he believed to be Peter's mutated rat. The rat has turned into a large and savage creature. The police finally believed Alan's theory of animals mutating to be bigger and more vicious. However, what still makes Alan and the cops wonder is why the mutant rat returned to Peter's house. Julie expressed her opinion that the mutant rat was Peter's experimental rat and the rat might have thought that Peter's house was his nest. This theory is quite plausible. The scene then switches to showing a woman who asks for her car to be repaired right away. The workshop owner, who also doubles as a mechanic, said that the workshop was closed and asked the woman to come back tomorrow morning. But because the woman was insistent, the mechanic finally couldn't help but comply with her request. When the mechanic was about to repair the woman's car in the repair shop alone, the savage mutant rat reappeared and attacked the mechanic to death. The woman who owns the car who was in the repair shop did not escape being the victim and died horribly. The next day, Alan goes to Linda and tells Julie's theory about Peter's mutant rat who might think of Linda's house as its nest. Because of this, Alan assumed that the mutant rat would return to Linda's house sooner or later. He intends to trap the mutant rat and kill it. Hearing Alan's plan, Linda agreed to help him because she wanted to avenge the death of her husband. On the other hand, Julie seemed disapproving and worried about Alan because his plan was quite dangerous. In the evening, the scene shows the atmosphere in the restaurant filled with customers, including Norton, one of the police officers who investigated the case of Peter's death. The restaurant employees look busy with their respective duties. One of the female employees noticed something odd when she saw the curtain closing the back door moving on its own. Even so, this did not stop her from going outside to take out the trash. Seeing the scattered garbage, she then cleaned it up. However, she was surprised by the appearance of a mutant rat above the trash can, which immediately ambushed her. She tried to run and asked her co-workers who were in the kitchen for help. But her partner ignored her plea for help because he was listening to loud music through earphones. In no time, the mutant rat killed the restaurant employees and began to terrorize the customers who were enjoying their dinner. Norton, who happened to be having dinner at the restaurant with his wife, tried to stop the mutant rat's violent actions, but his efforts were in vain and he died. Elsewhere, Alan and Linda are preparing their plan to trap the mutant rat, aided by Police Sergeants Chambers, McKenna, and Julie. They are ready with their respective weapons and Linda suggests that they use a chemical liquid to kill the creature. Just as Alan had expected, the mutant rat was indeed coming back to Linda's house and they were already preparing to ambush it. However, the five of them were no match for the mutant rat that became much more powerful and dangerous after being exposed to radioactivity. The mutant rat could easily pick up Sergeant McKenna and knock him down. Julie and Sergeant Chambers try to save themselves from a brutal mutant rat attack. When Alan was about to help his colleagues, he was intercepted by Linda, who revealed that she took part in Peter's research, which resulted in the mutation of a rat experiment into a dangerous beast. She asks Alan not to interfere because she intends to kill the mutant rat alone. Meanwhile, Sergeant Chambers, who was about to save Julie, got another attack from the mutant rat who seemed immune from bullets. The policewoman then tried to run for her life because she couldn't fight the mutant rat. Chambers then goes into Peter's private lab and takes refuge in the cage. But the defense didn't last long. The mutant rat managed to pull her arm through the bars and began to devour her. Linda, who saw this, even left Chambers. The night had turned to morning. Julie, who's hiding in the room, accidentally found Peter's research file. She looked surprised after finding an astonishing fact contained in the research file. She rushed out of the room with the file and found Alan, who was unconscious after being attacked by the mutant rat. Julie woke him and showed him the file she had brought. Alan was very surprised to find out that the experimental rat turned out to be the object of Linda's ambitious research. After that, Linda went to Alan and Julie and revealed that she was very ambitious to make cancer drugs after the death of her mother, who died of the disease. She said that the aim of the research was to save many people's lives, and Peter was willing to help. But their research actually causes mutations in the object of the experiment, so they try to hide the mutant rat from the outside world, until in the end the mutant rat manages to escape and kills Peter and the people in town. Alan was also furious at Linda for not being honest from the start when the police interrogated her, causing many lives to be wasted. Linda felt very sorry for causing chaos that killed many people because of her failed research. In her regrets, she asks Alan and Julie to go and let herself kill the mutant rat alone. However, Sergeant McKenna, who was still alive, then beat Linda until she fainted because he was very angry with her for causing his comrades to die. Alan then suggests that McKenna and Julie kill the mutant rat with a chemical liquid before the creature leaves the house and roams the city. The trio then sprayed the chemical while the mutant rat was still devouring the body of Sergeant Chambers, which it had brought from Peter's lab to the house. Linda, who had realized, asked the three to leave immediately while she would kill the creature alone. After Alan, Julie, and McKenna managed to get out of Linda's house, they were surprised by the appearance of a giant mutant rat. Apparently, the chemical that Linda and Alan had prepared to kill the mutant rat actually made it mutate into a giant mutant rat. Alan and Julie fled immediately, while McKenna tried his luck by trying to kill it. But quickly, the police sergeant was immediately devoured by the mutant rat. And when Alan and Julie were pressed and almost became their next meal, the giant mutant rat suddenly had a violent convulsion and its body exploded, causing its internal organs and blood to splatter everywhere. Alan and Julie then managed to survive even though their bodies were injured and covered in blood from the explosion of the giant mutant rat. As the two of them walk away from Linda's house, they hear the loud roar of another creature from Linda's house. The film ends,